Well, a win is a win regardless of how ugly it is. It was kind of ugly, but kind of not. But I think it was just more like a defensive. This is more of a defensive game, honestly. Yeah. So all right. So let's get into it. So for the first like 3 quarters, it was just like a field goal game back and forth. It's like, oh man, is this really where it's gonna be? But I think it's just partially to how even like I underestimated too how good the defense of the Jets was. And I mean, our defense did their job too. They held them down a few times, and well, more than a few. They held them down pretty much the whole game. But there were still some plays there where like Zach Wilson had like these big ass runs. I was like, oh my god, really? But yeah, finally in the what was it, the fourth quarter? The beginning of the fourth quarter, end of the third quarter. I'm doing this the next day, so I'm just trying to recount like what I remember what I saw. That Michael Mayer got his first touchdown. Just congrats to him, man. I really hope that he's really looking like he's going to be a good tight end for us, and hopefully he just keeps getting better and better. And then I also liked how Antonio Pierce didn't he kept running the ball because even though like probably like in the first few quarters, I mean it was kind of working but kind of not, but they weren't really like finishing in the red zone. But it was I mean, sometimes like the runs would be like stuffed immediately then stuffed, but like I just like how he kept like pounding it and kept running it, and I think that was the key. And I really loved it how like I think it was in the fourth quarter when they were on their way down to score the touchdown, I believe, where Josh Jacobs, he almost got the first, but then the lineman came and pushed him, and they got even more yards. I just like that. It's just like yeah, it's just like real kind of like real physical, real kind of like battle of the trenches kind of game. That's what it was, and it's fine. Not every game's gonna be like a flashy, fifth, 30 or 40 point game, but everyone still looked happy. So and I even noticed like one thing that one of the announcers brought up that Josh Jacobs picked certain plays and then that they did those plays in the game. And it just reinforced the thought that I always had of where it was Josh McDaniels kind of egotistical, like, no, you're gonna do this way, and I don't care if you like it or not, you're gonna do it this way. But Antonio Perez and even Gruden were more asking for player input, which is what you need to do, right? Like they're the ones that are actually out there on the field and they actually know what they're capable of and know what they excel at and what they aren't good at. I'm not saying like that you have to cater to players all the time, but I'm just saying that a good coach has that kind of a balance where they have a direction that they're going, but they also take input from the players, and that's what I like. So far from what I've seen from Antonio Pierce is that he take he has a direction in which he wants to go. He's not like being like he's not being like pulled by the players. He still has like position of leadership, but he's also taking other people's input, which I think that's what any good leader does. Whether you're in football or anything, that a good leader takes input from people around them, and it still showed on the field. That they're. I really like that. I really hope that this is like this isn't just for like a few games. That this is like the beginning of something long and something heavily needed here, which is which is what I really like about him is that he's like he wants us to build our own culture, and that's what I like is or even go back to our old roots. But even we can't even necessarily go back to the old roots just how the NFL is nowadays, but create our own identity and our old culture. And I think it's been something that we've been missing for a long time, and that we may be finally starting to build it with this guy. But I don't know. Maybe I'm getting my hopes up too high. We beat two. I mean, the Jets aren't a horrible team, I would say, but two of the teams are not the best. The next test will be against Miami, which I think that's who we're playing in, right? Just want to double check. I'm pretty sure it's Miami that we're playing. Oh, and then even like Splain too. He had a good interception, and like the I really like how the defense has been. I mean, the defense has kind of always been kind of decent, but they seem to even be playing better under Pierce, in my opinion. But the defense has been doing great. Yeah, it is the Dolphins. Ugh. Oh man, we got the Dolphins, then the Chiefs, then the Vikings. Oh man, so we got some tough games ahead of us. This game was a tough game, but I think those games will even be tougher. And I think the Miami game is in Miami, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, and then MVPs of the game, Josh Jacobs did great. Michael Mayer. Splain. O'Connell, he did okay. He didn't. There was a few. He threw an interception, and then there's a few times where it was like a little underthrown, but he's still a rookie at the end of the day. And it's only his second full game. No, this is his third full game start. So he's not gonna play. I think he did okay. He did okay. He did what he was supposed to do. I would say like really the noticeable people I would say were mainly Josh Jacobs and the defense, obviously like Max Crosby, Splain, the defensive line, offensive line too for pushing Josh Jacobs, like I was saying. But yeah, so we will see. I think that next game will be the real kind of test. I mean, obviously, I don't honestly I don't anticipate us winning this game against the Dolphins. But what I want is to basically kind of like go the distance. Like I want us to. I'd like for it to be a close game. Like I don't want to be like the Donkeys and get spanked 70 points. But just like um, I want to see kind of where we are, and I think the Dolphins are a good team to kind of gauge like where we are. But anyway, yeah, I don't know if this is much of a recap. I just recounting what I saw last night. Went on a little bit late, so I couldn't do it last night. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed, and hope to see you next time. Thank you.